Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are Florida.
Marlins Park tonight, the bobbleheads are bobbling. And a very brief two-game series comes to a conclusion. Last night, the Pirates were a run better than the Fish. Tonight, the Marlins try to get a series split, try to get a winning record on this homestand. And the red-orange caps are out tonight. Pirates and Marlins ready to go. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Josh Johnson is on the mound for this one. But it doesn't matter who's pitching, Tommy. Right now, the Marlins have a stark reality. They've got to start scoring more runs.
They have to start having, I think, more intelligent at-bats in situations to go up to the plate with an idea. I think that'll happen because I have a little red-orange in the tie, too.
Very nice. All right, let's talk about the Marlins batting order. One tweak that Ozzie Guillen did about a week ago was move Emilio Bonifacio down to the number 7 spot and Omar Infante up, and Bonifacio has responded.
Oh, he certainly has responded. Look at the batting average, look at the on-base percentage. I think he feels more comfortable, a little more relaxed there, and I'm sure it's not a permanent thing, but right now, Ozzie feels good with Bonifacio hitting in that part of the order. A little struggle last couple of games for Infante. He's 0 for his last 9.
It used to be every time the Marlins put Josh Johnson's name in the lineup card, they knew they were going to get an outstanding start. Hasn't gone that way this year, though his last time out he showed signs of the old JJ.
Yeah, it was a good 7 innings. It was great to see JJ throw the ball the way he did, but he's gone 12 starts now since his last win. His last win was April 19th, 2011, and guess what? It was against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he has a good feeling about this one tonight. In 7 innings, he struck out 9, walked only 1 in that game.
And you guys get to join the telecast tonight. It's an email and a Twitter Tuesday. And when we get back, Allison Williams live from the field. Carlos Stanton will talk with Allison before the Marlins take on the Pirates. Fish and Pirates. Let's start out in center field. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine.
All right, thank you, Rich. Carlos Stanton standing by, and he's had a great month of May so far. He's hitting .327.
Yeah, he's going to be that middle-of-the-order guy that everyone in this league's going to fear, and he's showing why. So hopefully we get an old Josh Johnson tonight and about 5 or 6 runs.
We'll be here for the post game. Let's go down to Allison Williams with Mr. Stanton.
Thank you very much, guys. Giancarlo, this is the second and final game against the Pirates, and it's off to Atlanta for 2. Do these shorter series have a different feel to them?
Not a little bit, especially with a team we're not very familiar with, like the Pirates, only playing them for 2 games is kind of in and out, right when you study their players and, get it all downloaded in your brain, they're already gone. So it's a little different.
May has been quite the month for you. You're hitting .327, 6 home runs, 13 RBI. How different do you feel at the plate now versus last month?
Way more comfortable. I trust myself a lot more, letting the ball get deeper and whatnot. So just those consistent good at-bats is what I need to keep going.
It's also been a good month for the club at 10-3. What have been the keys to the success this month?
Just everybody putting in, we're not relying on one guy each night. Everyone giving their little contribution where, as before, it was kind of, either we're on or we're off. Now, we're not worried about one person, getting us the win. It's the whole team.
Giancarlo, thanks for the time. Good luck today. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Allison. Jeff and I will be here for the post game with complete highlights. And we hope to be talking about a Marlins 1-1 series to try to win a homestand here. 2-2, Niner. We'll see if they can get it.
2-2. Like I said, old Josh and 6 runs.
All right, early runs, too, would be nice for the Marlins. 2-2 in the homestand. 1 more game to go before the 5-game road trip coming up Atlanta and Cleveland. Here we go. Kevin Correa, Josh Johnson, the pitching matchup as the Pirates and Marlins duel on a Tuesday night indoors in South Florida.
Sports Florida, brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on an amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Come on inside Marlins Park. Pirates, Marlins. Pirates are hot. They've won 3 straight, 5 of their last 7. Clint Hurdle's bunch is just a game under 500, and this is their starting lineup. With our cool starting lineup music, Jose Tabata is in right field, Neil Walker is at second, Andrew McCutchen is red hot, Pedro Alvarez at third base, Garrett Jones at first base, Clint Barmas at shortstop, Alex Presley's in left field, Michael McHenry will do the catching, and Kevin Correa hits ninth. A look at JJ.
Well, JJ, as we talked about, coming off a no decision in Houston, but he pitched very well. 7 innings, gave up just 4 hits, a couple of runs. It was good to see him around the strike zone the way he was. Walked just a couple, struck out 6. In his career, 2-0 in 3 starts against the Pirates with a nice 1.64 ERA.
It's amazing, only 3 starts for JJ against the Pirates. Pinch a Penny's first pitch. Jose Tabata knocks it foul. The red-orange caps, and JJ featuring the high socks. The red-orange socks as well. There's a slider that had a little more bite, especially late in the ball game against the Astros.
Actually, the last couple of innings in that game were probably the best innings JJ pitched.
Ground ball short. Reyes got him. Hey, that looked like Greg Dobbs over there at first base.
He is.
There's a look at Dauber, who gets the start against the right-hander. Let's take a look at the defense for the Fish.
Oh, you're looking in the outfield. You see Lomo and Bonifacio and Giancarlo. Everything the same on the left side. Greg Dobbs getting the start. Ozzy saying he just wants to continue to get Dobbs his at-bats. 3, 4, 5 at-bats in one game. And John Buck behind the plate.
Now Neil Walker, switch hitting second baseman for the Pirates. Walker 0 for 4 last night. The Pirates beat the Fish 3-2, and they did it on just 6 hits. The Marlins had just 7 hits. Fly ball towards the line. Morrison is over, and he's there, and he makes the catch. Romo has it. Sometimes he has trouble downshifting from high gear to low gear.
A little bit of that is sometimes when you have a knee issue, it's a little harder to do that. Harder to, once you get going, it's fine, like when he runs the bases, but when he has to put on the brakes, he might feel it a little bit more.
So 2 quick outs, but don't be so sure it'll happen with Andrew McCutchen, who in his last 8 games is close to 500, 481. And McCutchen takes a fastball for a strike. 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly in last night's ball game. McCutchen 3 homers, 7 doubles. He's stolen 6 bases, and he's played Gold Glove defense in center field. JJ with a fastball that backs him off the plate. Ball and a strike. Career numbers outstanding for Josh Johnson, which makes the season numbers all the more puzzling. On the season 0-3, the ERA is close to 6. In his career, 48 and 26. Look at the ERA. He goes after win number 49 tonight.
Good breaking ball. That's a curveball. That's a little more of the curveball. It's hard to believe that JJ has gone 12 starts since his last win. And that last win, oddly enough, against the Pirates.
And as you pointed out, the outset of our telecast, late April?
April 19th. Wow. Against the Pirates, he struck out 9 in 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits.
Fastball misses in.
It's a good pitch, though. It's good to see JJ not necessarily back a hitter off, but show that hard stuff in, just to keep him honest.
3-2 misses outside. He loses Andrew McCutchen. And McCutchen immediately becomes a stolen base threat. The Pirates don't run a whole lot, but McCutchen's one of the guys that if Clint Hurdle needs a bag, he can get it for him. Ozzie Kia addressing the media before the ball game, talking about the Marlins' woes with runners in scoring position.
Might be talking about those 2 throws and 2 picks last night. The throws of John Buck, the picks of Omar Infante to catch a couple of Pirate runners.
Boy, look at McCutchen. He just looks like he's poised to let rip. And he was a track star at Fort Meade High School, football star as well, and an incredible baseball player. First round pick of the Pirates, decided to go baseball.
So you're saying as he gets his league over there, he looks runnerish.
He just looks fast, and he is. JJ misses, and he's fallen behind now 2-0. He walked McCutchen. Alvarez was 1 for 4 last night. It was a big one, an RBI double in the 6th. It gave the Pirates the lead. They did not give back.
Pedro Alvarez, you mentioned last night, out of Vanderbilt, went to high school in the Bronx.
Born in Puerto Rico. Touching back in there. Mike Machlinski is the home plate umpire. Wally Bell at first, Brian Knight at second. Mark Wagner is at third base. Machlinski is a fill-in umpire, a guy that comes up from the minor leagues to do some games. And the count's 2-1. Alvarez, one of the young Pirates that Pittsburgh and their general manager Neil Huntington are trying to build around. McCutchen and Alvarez both 25. Walker's 26. Tabata, the leadoff guy's 23. Alex Presley, the starting left fielder, who's got some good speed, is 26. McCutchen, an all-star last year, and deserving of that for sure. Not running, and Johnson falls behind now 3-1. Randy St. Clair. It's a good count to run on now if McCutchen is going to go, and he's still not running. Bouncer into left field. That's a base hit. And so the Pirates have runners first and second, and Garrett Jones coming up.
Pirates have a number of hitters. It didn't show last night, but a number of hitters that Clint Hurdle has seen struggle lately. Garrett Jones 0 for his last 9. Presley 3 for his last 39. McHenry, the catcher in there tonight, 1 for his last 18.
Garrett Jones takes outside. Jones, very much different than the 4 guys that hit before him, all guys that got to the big leagues pretty quick. For Jones, it took a while. Spent parts of 11 years in the minor leagues with the Braves, the Twins, the Pirates. Into right field, that's a base hit. Stanton's on it. Here comes McCutchen flying around third. He's going to score easily. Ball goes to the screen. JJ picks it up, and the Marlins kick it around. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. A walk, a 2-out walk, and then a pair of hits.
Well, a couple of things happen here. This ball hit sharply, but keep in mind McCutchen the runner, and it's the first inning. Want to see if this ball, I'm not sure if that ball could have been cut off. If it was, it should have been, but it may have been over Dobbs's head. If so, a poor throw, and not only does McCutchen score easily anyway, both the runners advance. And those are just little things when you're struggling with runners in scoring position. When you're struggling scoring runs, you can't make those little mistakes.
Here's Barmes. And Barmes lines it to third. Hanley Ramirez has it. First is over for Josh Johnson, but just like last night, the Pirates are out to a 1-0 lead. with a 1-0 lead. And in the bottom of the first, the Marlins, who still have won 10 of their last 13, a game over. Jose Reyes, Omar Infante, Hanley Ramirez with 2 hits, including a home run last night. Logan Morrison, Carlos Stanton, Greg Dobbs, Emilio Bonifacio, John Buck, Josh Johnson.
And there's a look at the veteran, 31-year-old Kevin Correa. Not an overpowering guy, a little bit of everything. A lot of cutters. Talked to Logan Morrison about Correa. There's a good changeup. He'll throw a lot of cutters in on lefties. An all-star last year was Kevin Correa.
Here is Reyes, who's hit in 5 straight, and Correa misses outside. Getting ready to throw out the first tweet of the night. And I think I have found it. It's from Stacy in Wellington. Gentlemen, regarding the new ballpark, could Tommy use his telestrator and go over the ground rules of the park? Home run lines, what happens if the ball hits the roof, etc. The roof is a good question because it's much like any roof in Major League Baseball. If a ball hits something in fair territory, it's a live ball.
Yeah, if you're an outfielder, you can move around, and if it's in fair territory and it comes down, you make the catch.
If it hits something in foul territory, it's a dead ball.
We've seen a couple of balls hit real high, and so far nothing's been hit up there.
But something will get hit. A girder will get hit. It happens in every retractable roof ballpark. How about that? 4 pitches, and Reyes is aboard. And as far as Tommy on the telestrator with the ground rules, we'll get a chance to do that as the show goes on, but we can't come out drawing right from the first inning. That's one of the cardinal sins about telestration. You learn that in broadcasting school. No telestration in the bottom of the first.
And you have to get warmed up. My fingers aren't quite there yet.
Got to get you a stylus. Omar Infante with Hanley Ramirez right behind him. But a good first question about the roof. By the way, Marlins president David Samson will be joining us. Infante takes inside, so if you have ballpark questions for David Samson, send them our way. Hashtag Ask David. Hashtag Ask David. It'll help us organize the tweets. Of course, we'll take emails and tweets, as many as we can tonight. Reyes is at first. Infante waiting. Correa. Omar swings and fouls it. Correa hasn't faced the fish since he was a Padre back in 2010. As Tommy pointed out, an all-star last year. He ended up a game over 500 for a team that finished 18 under, 72 and 90. He was 12 and 11. Reyes leaning. Infante pulls one. Alvarez out there. Little hesitation at second by Neil Walker. And Infante has been running well this last week. No sign of that sore groin. And he beats the relay.
Yeah, that's been good to see because he had some time where he wasn't quite 100% running. He had a couple of games that he sat. But a little hesitation. And because Infante got up that line quickly, no double play. This was a double play ball. And there's a good look at Infante. And by the way, right above second base, the highest part of the roof, 216 feet straight up.
Here's Hanley now. Last night the Pirates took a 1-0 lead in the first, and Hanley got it right back with a home run to left, his 7th of the season. Ties him with Carlos Stanton for the team lead. Omar Infante with 6. Correa misses in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hanley has, over the years, seen Correa 15 at bats, 4 for 15 with a home run.
One's a strike. Look who's back. Brian Peterson. think everybody around the ball club expected 10 days after he went down he'd be back. That's the minimum period you have to stay in the minor leagues unless there's an injury on your 25-man roster. If there's no injury, you've got to wait 10 days before you come back. Marlins needed the extra arms after the bullpen meltdowns on the road trip. So Kevin Madison, with one big league game and one big league at bat, heads down. Peterson, look at what he did at AAA. He was 9 of 27, a homer and 3 RBIs. And Peterson said he got a chance to play every day, felt good at the plate. And this weekend, here's the 2-2. You never know, because the Marlins will be in an American League city. They'll be using a designated hitter, and there's a chance to DH either a Logan Morrison or a Carlos Stanton, especially against a right-hander, and get another lefty bat in there, Brian Peterson.
Yeah, I believe all right-handers in that series for the Indians.
Including a right-hander that pitched pretty well today.
Yeah, Derek Lowe. Probably see him Sunday.
Runner goes. Hanley yanks it foul and out of play. Perfect time to look at the Pirate defense.
Well, we talked about it last night. Good speed in that outfield with Presley and McCutchen, Jose Tabata in right, Pedro Alvarez, Varmus, Neil Walker up the middle. Garrett Jones is already produced in this game. He's at first, and Michael McHenry is behind the plate.
Full count again. Let's see if Infante's running again. Hanley pulls it foul. You'll like this email, Tom. Adrian from Boca Raton. My husband and I attended the Saturday game at Marlins Park and took tri-rail from Boca. Our Marlins gear made us a target for total strangers to volunteer and help with directions on the train and at the stations. It turned out to be very hassle-free, and it was fun riding the train. Steak tacos and Cuban coffee were an added bonus for a great day. Good to hear. So tri-rail from Boca was hassle-free. Everything went smoothly. Runner goes. Hanley into the corner. That's going to get down there and up against the wall with a head start. Infante around third, flying towards home. Hanley has done it again. He tied the game in the first last night. He ties it tonight with an RBI double.
He tied it last night with a great swing on the home run he hit. And this another good swing on a pitch that tails in. He's able to get quick to the ball, shorter swing. In order to hit that pitch, you can't have a long swing. Keeps it fair because Infante was on the move. And also the ball, we've seen a lot of balls when they hit the fence here, they kind of hit and stick on that warning track. But by the time Presley got it back, Infante scored easily.
Morrison now, and a fastball outside from Correa.
And I have a good tweet about Lomo. The tweet is from Lacey saying that you and I talk about Lomo as being the best pure hitter on the ball club. What do you mean by that? When I see a pure hitter, and you can give your idea, I think of a guy who has an idea at the plate. Lomo takes pitches, has a solid swing. It doesn't get out of whack too often. Uses all the field. To me, that's a pure hitter.
That and a guy that doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. Very steady, has a simple swing, and has a solid approach. Ray Searage, the pitching coach of the Pirates, suddenly bolts from the dugout.
He might not be happy with the lack of control from Correa, who generally is a guy who's around the strike zone all the time. He's faced the Marlins before, not successfully. He's 2-3 in his career against the Fish with a 6.59 ERA.
One ball game, 1 out. One of the big moments last night was in the 8th inning. Miami had runners first and second, down a run. Morrison was up, and Jason Grilli struck him out. Gurley would then get Stanton to pop out, and that was the best opportunity the Marlins had to tie the game.
And if you and I were talking amongst ourselves, or if we were talking amongst our viewers, we probably would select Lomo to be the guy you'd want in that situation. We hold nothing back from you.
Three and one now. A couple of home runs, a couple of doubles. Morrison has been the Marlins leader in that close and late. Obviously it's close and early right now, but it shows the type of hitter he's been this year. And he trots down to first after a solid at bat against Correa, and that gives Carlos Stanton an opportunity with 2 runners on.
The other thing, the Marlins are taking advantage early. You like to see that. They need to do that against the Pirates, not being able to turn that double play. They had that double play, but the little mishandle by Walker at second allowed Infante to stay at first and to be on the move on Hanley's 2-base hit.
Hanley at second base. Jones is playing behind Morrison at first. Hanley and Barmes sharing a moment out there. Stan last night, coming off his big Mother's Day on Sunday, was 0 for 4. Breaking ball, hammered. Barmes shovels, got him. Whoa! In the blink of an eye, the Pirates get 2 outs. Don't know that Stan could hit that line drive much harder. And Barmes made a nice backhanded flip to nab Hanley at second base. Now the Marlins barrels him up. They get a run back. It's a tie game. H. Gregg, Marlins Park in Miami. Our Coventry Healthcare second begins with Josh Johnson facing Alex Presley. And a strike to Presley. 1-1 game, just like last night. Presley, as we noted, out of Ole Miss. And our next email is from Mississippi. It's from Perry in Mississippi. Rich and Tommy, what do you think will happen first? Josh Johnson gets a win or Ozzie gets ejected from a game? Both should have happened by now, don't you think? Here's the 0-2.
Well, yeah, I saw today Charlie Manuel manager of the Phillies, was ejected for the second time already this year. And I would say first thing that happens is JJ gets a win.
He strikes out Alex Presley, and we check in with Allison Williams.
Hey Rich, it is our Email Twitter Tuesday, and one thing we're doing tonight is giving you a little bit of a who's who when it comes to Twitter and the Marlins. Here's a list of some people you should follow that are all in-house for the Miami Marlins. Of course, for everything Marlins, you can simply go to @Marlins. That's everything from community events, watch parties, game-by-game updates. Also, the Marlins ballpark. If you have any questions, traffic, parking, all that kind of stuff, where different things are in the park, they're a good handle to follow. We also have our Marlins PA announcer on there. Marlins Vision host Catherine is @host Catherine. And then, of course, we have to give Billy some love. You can follow him @Billy the Marlin. Rich?
I want to know, how does Billy tweet, though?
Well, I have a question for Allison Williams.
What's that?
I know that you blanched a bit at my moniker of the queen of social media. How about princess of social media?
Oh. That's better. I like that. There's like a youthful element to that.
All right.
There you
not
go.
as much pressure as the queen or responsibility.
Okay. It's a little demotion, but going
That's
from queen to princess.
I'm with you, Allison. I think princesses have a lot more fun than queens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I've been called a princess a time or two, so that might be a little more appropriate.
Here's Correa now. Kevin Correa, Josh Johnson at the knees. JJ gave up a 2-out run in the first. In fact, he got the first 2 hitters he faced. He walked Andrew McCutchen. Pedro Alvarez and Garrett Jones then had base hits.
You like the way he's come right after this bottom third of the order. Put away Presley, got McHenry on one pitch, and now going right after Correa. Randy St. Clair likes that too.
Again, a reminder, David Samson will join us, so ballpark questions we will defer to David. We've had many questions about the grass in right field. We talked about that when we were in Houston. There's how you get your questions in. We talked about it in Houston. There's a way to connect via email or via Twitter. The hashtag #AskDavid. Ground ball, Hanley straightens up in time and gets the out. So says Wally Bell. 1-1.
En español es presentado en SAP por Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Fish Tank Cam is on order, and we're hopeful to have it by the end of the season. We're going to get a robotic submarine with a camera on it to swim with the fishes, so to speak. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the second. Pirates, Marlins, Greg Dobbs, Emilio Bonifacio, and John Buck. When we get to the ballpark early, we see the folks that take care of the fish tanks, cleaning, feeding the fish, very happy. Don't seem to be bothered by the Marlins' inability to hit with runners in scoring position.
They'd like to see a few more key base hits.
Here's Dobbs now. Well, they know that Greg Dobbs has delivered key base hits this year. Last night, 0 for 1.
Boy, he's had some starts, and he's 5 for 15 as a pinch hitter.
We'll throw out an email from Oxford, England. Jerome and Jack. Dobbs dumps it down the left field line, and it's foul. It's always late night with the fish with us in Oxford, England, except when it's extra innings on the West Coast. Then it's breakfasts with the fish. Which Marlin, Tommy, has surprised you the most this season?
I think the way Ricky Nolasco's come out of the chute and pitched as well as he had.
I'm going to go Carlos Zambrano on
that. Is another good one.
0-2 pitch. Dobbs a ground ball on the outfield grass. Walker has to wait for Correa to get there, and he does. And Dobbs is out, number 1. Boy, are we socially media savvy. Look at this interactive poll. Favorite part of Marlins Park: aquarium, roof, food, Clevelander, and home run sculpture. Tommy, can you circle D for me? That's just one man's opinion. Ever since they brought us margaritas, non-alcoholic, and appetizers in the Yankee series, they've been my favorite. In fact, if they were to bring us appetizers and margaritas, non-alcoholic, for this ball game, we'd really go bananas.
You know what my favorite part is? The roof, because it's comfortable. Been no delays.
See, I'm going beauty over function. Bonifacio has been outstanding in the 7 spot. Correa misses away.
Well, last 2 games, Bonifacio, he's 4 for 8. But he's had better swings. I mean, when you settle in, and maybe it's because he's relaxed a little more in that 7th spot, he's hitting strikes. Just like that.
Smacks it in the gap. That's extra bases. Maybe it's 3. He's off to the races. Bonifacio is gonna get there. Loviste. Boy, is that fun to watch. This ballpark is custom made for that man.
Hitting strikes, solid swings, and once it finds that gap, Bonifacio's off to the races. He's got it checked out as he rounds second base. Knows he might have to slide, and he comes up with the Loviste all in one motion. Watch this.
Nice. Brought to you by Toyota.
Had a great tweet about the Loviste. Saw that Marlins foam fingers are sold in the team store. This is from David A. Tell them they should make Loviste foam fingers. I'd buy one.
They should. And I think Bonifacio would get a piece of each one sold. He's the guy that came up with it. Ground ball to short, and that's not going to get the run home. With 1 out in the infield end, John Buck goes after the first pitch and taps it to short.
Boy, these are just situations that grind and grind and grind on you. Opportunities. I mean, you get to the 7th or 8th inning, you think about this, depending on what the score is. And give the Pirates credit for bringing the infield in.
Now there's 2 outs. Josh Johnson and JJ. It's a ground ball to second.
And on 2 pitches, Kevin Correa gets out of that jam. That's a shame.
Marlins lead Bonifacio at third. It's 1-1 after 2. With Craig Minervini.
Well, you know, Jose Tabata will be coming up here. Had a slow start to the season, but he's coming on and feeling pretty good about things. So he went out here in Miami. His friend, in fact, who's his stylist, and he put his number uniquely, like you would see in the back of your helmet, right on the back of his head, as he carved. That's his hair there, the 31. Although Jose did tell me today, a lot of the players on his team were saying it looks almost like a 7. On that 1 is not really terrific, but Jose was smiling. He's got the star there too. He said he's not a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I asked him, well, what's the star? He said, I'm his star. And lately he has been. He's hitting near 300 last few weeks for the Pirates. But good player. We've watched him for a couple of years now, and a little different. You know, things are different these days, guys. Back to you.
All right, Craig, thanks. Yeah, the Pirates hoping to be a little different, a little bit better from last year. They took a big step forward last year. They went from 57 wins to 72 wins. That was their best record in the past 7 years. Tabata, a guy that originally a Yankee, and in the Xavier Nady trade he came over. JJ throws a strike. Top of the order. JJ got Tabata and Walker in the first inning, and then a 2-out walk and a couple of hits, and that's how the Pirates have their run. Michelle wants to know, will that pop fly fall in? It does for a base hit. Actually, she has another question. However, I'm contractually obligated to say this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Michelle wants to know who's going to get the first inside the park home run in Marlins Park. Her vote goes to Bonifacio.
That would be a pretty good vote.
Neil Walker now, and he takes outside. Walker flied to left back in the first. John into Cuesta. Why no pitch velocities tonight? Very observant, John. There is an issue with the radar gun that feeds not only both telecasts, the Marlins and the Pirates telecast, but also Marlins Park scoreboards. So there are no pitch speeds. Tommy had a stopwatch and was going to try to gauge and just draw it on the telestrator, but we failed at that as well.
Well, workers are feverishly trying to get that corrected too.
JJ. One and one. Couple of walk-offs in baseball already today with day baseball. Hunter Pence made a big error against his former team, but then hit the walk-off homer in the 10th, and the Phillies beat the Astros 4-3. The Cardinals, Yadier Molina with a walk-off hit to sink the Cubs 7-6. Back into that Cubs bullpen has had a rough go of it. That was the bottom of the 9th walk-off. John Baker had a big day today against Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, Baker hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. I noticed the last 2 starts he's had against Roy Halladay. He had a couple of hits, and today against Steven Strasburg. And Baker was 3 for 4.
Two and one. Ground ball into right field, base hit. Stan approaches. Tabata will stop at second. Neil Walker has a hit. Big against Strasburg, against Halladay. That's what Ozzie Guillen was saying when he was a reserve late in his career. It was always, hey, Ozzie, you're going to get the start. And it's Clemens or it's Randy Johnson. Make plans now to come down to Marlins Park this season, and you can secure your seats through a variety of season ticket and mini plan options. That will save you money off the box office prices, and you get all the benefits of being a Marlins season ticket holder. Pick up your plan at 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. Well, the Pirates have first and second, and their hottest hitter at the plate. Andrew McCutchen, in his career against Josh Johnson, is just 1 for 7, but that one is a home run.
And certainly a tough guy to double up.
Pulls it foul. Ball and a strike. David Samson will be here in the 5th inning. All ballpark questions. I know a lot of you want to know about the grass in right field, and as we talked in Houston, very similar in Houston, just like Arizona, with a retractable roof, natural surface. It takes a while to get the right mixture. Good live fastball. Tommy, what would you estimate that fastball at?
Probably around 94, 93, 94, which is where JJ has kind of been.
See, that's how they used to have to do it in the old days.
Yeah. You never knew. You just said Gibson, Seaver. Yeah, they threw hard. Ryan, he throws hard. Got a power curveball. They didn't have all the lingo back then.
Swing and a miss, and that's a big strikeout.
That's a big slider, too. You know, after the good fastball, the pitch before, then the target outside, hard slider, and he gets McCutchen to chase it. That's the advantage of getting ahead. Get ahead, you can expand that zone a little bit. That was a good pitch. I'm kind of writing down some of the questions for David Samson, too.
Very nice. Pedro Alvarez singled in the 1st. Pirates still have runners 1st and 2nd. Now there's 1 out. And you could hear the home plate umpire say, yes, he did. Oh, 1 coming. It's up and in. One fan wanting to know when the Marlins were going to call up Jose Fernandez, who's having a very, very nice start in low A. On a hop, one there. Reyes' relay. Got him! JJ gets a double play and pitches out of that first and second. Nobody out spot. To the bottom of the third in Miami tonight. 1-1. Started by Infante, finished by Reyes.
Notice how Infante had to lay back to get that big hop, so it took a little time. He makes a nice pivot, and then the strong snap throw of Jose Reyes. In full speed. Not a lot of shortstops can make this snap throw this quickly and with that much on it.
Reyes at the plate, and he takes a breaking ball that misses outside. Finn's Pride has a tweet for you. Any reason in particular that Jose Reyes has not shown any power yet this year?
You know, I don't think you look for that from him. It's one of those things, when you get it, it's a nice bonus. I don't think he fully has gotten his right-handed swing down either, which I talked to him about today. Knowing that he was going to face the right-hander tonight in Correa, taking some BP left-handed, but I asked him how many swings a night will he take from the other side, and he said usually a couple of rounds he'll hit from the right side. And the Marlins will see a lefty in Atlanta tomorrow night, Mike Minor.
Reyes' splits in his career
pretty good, pretty even.
Struck him out. Correa came in and got the strikeout.
We talked about how Correa likes to move the ball around, and he just found a perfect spot there on the inside corner.
as well as the radar gun being out. Fox Tracks has been knocked out as well.
There's the scouting report brought to you by Coventry Healthcare. Not overpowering. The slider and cutter kind of blend at times, and he likes to use that backdoor slider to lefties.
Oh, Infante, a gorgeous bunt. Terrific stuff from Omar Infante. His first hit of the series.
Now, believe it or not, he was 0 for his last 10 and decided to take care of business and drop down a perfect bunt. You almost had the feeling he knew that it was so perfect that about 3/4 of the way up the line, he just kind of cruises into first base.
So Infante's at first base. That's where he was when Hanley Ramirez ripped a double down the left field line and scored Infante. He was running on that pitch. And that gave him a little head start. That tied the game at 1. Pirates, just like last night, got a run in the top of the first, and just like last night, Hanley Ramirez tied it.
And just like last night, the Marlins had a runner at third and less than 2 out and didn't get him in. I hate to be the bearer of bad news all the time.
We just report the facts. That's off the end of the bat. Racing in is McCutchen. You've got supreme speed out there with McCutchen and Presley in center and left. No better way to stay connected with the Marlins than through the team's official social media channels. The official Marlins conversation starts with breaking news, special offers, free prizes. Like the Marlins at Facebook.com/Marlins and follow the Marlins at Twitter.com/Marlins. Morrison walked back in the first. A variety of tweets wanting to know if Ozzie Guillen will move Emilio Bonifacio back up the order. And of course, Cardinal rule number 5 in broadcasting school: never read a tweet or an email with 2 outs and a ground ball to second. In with social media princess Allison Williams.
Still don't know how I feel about that one either, but I think it's a little bit better. Rich, a lot of the clubhouse guys on Twitter as well, not just the players who I know you all follow. Dominic, one of the clubbies for the Marlins, is on Twitter. He's at Dommy Gooch, and this is what he put out earlier today. It was his commercial debut. You can see him there in the catcher's gear. He was John Buck's double. What happened was the crew was here to shoot a commercial yesterday, but Buck was not able to make it in time. So Dom, being the team player that he is, jumped in, threw on the gear to help out. I asked how the gear fit. He said, obviously not too well. He's quite a few inches shorter than Buck. The pads came well down over his shoes and up past his thighs, but he donned the equipment well, got the job done, and he was able to step in because he caught in high school, so he actually had a little bit of an idea what to do. The good thing was all the shots were basically extreme close-ups of the glove and so forth, so you won't be able to tell who it was, but if you see the commercial, it is Dom behind the plate there, sporting the catcher's gear and getting the job done for the Marlins commercial. Rich?
Does he get the check or the residuals instead of Buck?
He should, right?
Yeah,
I would think so. I think
sure
we should
John
labor on his behalf.
Yeah, I'm sure John will take care of him. Dom always a team player, too.
Time called as JJ started towards Garrett Jones, Clint Varmus, and Alex Presley. Change up, and it's 1-2. As we noted, there's no pitch speeds in the ballpark. We need to get a walkie-talkie with a scout down there with a gun behind it.
Yeah, scouts have their guns working.
Here's the 1-2. To right and pulled down the line. Stanton in full flight, leaps and got it! Whoa! That's a big man out there.
Wow, what a well-timed leap. Great concentration by Giancarlo. And he's able to hang on. Watch the leap. He looks up. He sees he's going to bang into that fence, and he's able to hang on. This is a great grab by Giancarlo Stanton. And I got a little tweet about Stanton. I got to get out. Fake Marlins fan says, Tommy, I'm engaged to a man who has an unhealthy obsession with Giancarlo. He even writes a blog about it. Should I be worried?
Well, what's your opinion? I say get out now.
Unless he hits 40 home runs. Yeah. Oh, that was tremendous.
Clint Varmus is up. The count's 0-2. Vamos Pescados has a tweet. The 0-2. Little tapper up the line. It's going to stay fair, and JJ tags Varmus out.
Well, it's good he stayed with it because that ball had a little spin and came back fair.
AT&T trivia question. Then we get to Vamos Pescados. See, it's still 8:58 on that phone. 1993, who tossed the Marlins' first shutout?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Let's see. You had Charlie Huff. You had Chris Hammond, who's, I think, in the rotation. Not sure if Jack Armstrong was there the first year.
When did Alex Fernandez join the ball club?
Not that early. Had a big right-hander named of Ryan Bowen was in the rotation.
Alex Presley up. All right, Vamos Pescados.
Go ahead.
You guys show Milwaukee.
Vamonos.
You show Milwaukee's sausage races, Pittsburgh's pierogi races, Washington's president's races. When will you show the great sea creatures race?
I think we're building up the suspense.
We've shown it a handful of times, but we're waiting for something exciting to happen during it. I mean, I was thinking about it. How do you, because all of those other races seem to have a gimmick to them, and what gimmick could they have? And the only thing I could come up with is the octopus were to be knocked off his feet and ink squirt from the belly of the octopus all over the field.
That would be some good tweets or emails. What gimmick can we apply?
Outstanding
to the sea creature race?
What would you like to see happen to?
I mean, in
the
Washington, you have Teddy Roosevelt never wins,
right?
Mark Grace never wins the Legends race in Arizona.
2-2 is down low. The sausages on Sunday have the little sausages relay.
That's always more fun, I think, than the regular race.
Michael McHenry is on deck. We just got a tweet from Scott. It would be more fun if the sea creatures were chased by a giant sushi chef. Here's the 3-2. Line foul. I see a good. There's sponsorship opportunities there.
There's something there.
The Gorton's Fisherman. Benihana, maybe. Three and two to Alex Presley. Josh Johnson delivers. Ground ball, middle. Reyes has it. Across his body, gets a very fast man. I think Reyes thought about spinning, but in the last minute, he decided just to chuck it. And with that strong arm, he throws him out by less than a step. Still 1-1 in Miami. Is brought to you by Bennett Auto Supply. Our prices bring you in, and our people bring you back. By the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. Marlins Park tonight. There's a Loviste shirt. Carlos Stanton. Kevin Correa misses outside, and it's 1-0. Stanton, Greg Dobbs, Emilio Bonifacio.
And to just focus on JJ, throwing the ball well, giving up just the 4 singles. He's gotten some nice defensive help. He just needs a little offensive backing.
Three 3-0. You green light Giancarlo here?
Absolutely.
Center cut, and he took it for a strike. It's 3-1.
And just because he took it doesn't necessarily mean he didn't have the green light.
That would be ball 4. Here's the AT&T trivia answer.
Let me go Jack Armstrong.
Ryan Bowen.
Ryan Bowen, big right-hander.
Leadoff walk to Stanton. Greg Dobbs and Emilio Bonifacio. We have tweets and emails coming in from all over.
I get a quick one on from Jorge asking about Donovan Solano. Remember, he had such a terrific spring training. He's in AAA in New Orleans. 33 games. Solano hitting .240. No home runs, 13 RBIs.
From Brazil, Pablo. Do you think the National League East is the most competitive division in baseball? Breaking ball misses outside to Dobbs. Clark Spencer had a nice little blog as you look at the Cholula Hot Sauce spotlight on Dobbs. 8 of 12 games he has hits in. He's 5 of 10 with a runner in scoring position. Clark Spencer on the Herald website had a good breakdown of the National League East and its record against the rest of the National League. Better than the other divisions in terms of wins and losses.
You know, I think the way things are shaking down in the American League East, that has become competitive with the way Baltimore is playing. And all of a sudden, the Red Sox have won 5 in a row. Toronto's over 500. So that's a competitive division as well. No question about that.
Stanton at first. Correa from the belt. Dobbs a liner to left. That's a base hit. A walk, a single, and Craig Minervini in that order.
All right, I'll follow that. Hey, at Omar FC has a tweet for us, guys. It's a good one. Although I think he's a little away. The question is, when will the Marlins call up Jose Fernandez? Well, hang on. But here's the good news. These guys are excelling down in Greensboro. Fernandez, the #1 pick last year, is 4-0 with a 1.67. He leads the South Atlantic League in strikeouts with 52. He did it in just 43 innings. They're hitting 182 against him. Adam Conley was the Marlins' second-round pick last year. He's the lefty from Washington State, and his ERA is also in the top 10. 2.23, fourth in strikeouts with 43, and he also is 3-0. The Grasshoppers are 26-10. They lead first place in the South Atlantic in the North Division by 6 games, thanks in large part to the 2 first-round picks. But there's a ladder, there's a progressive, probably a couple of years away before we see them here. You never know.
I'll tell you, another youngster that's exciting everybody up in Jupiter, the Florida State League, is Christian Yelich.
Good article in the Palm Beach Post.
Yes, very good article
on Yelich. Bonifacio tripled in the second. And he rolls that one into right. That's a base hit. Stand to third. Stop signs up. Bags are loaded. And John Buck gets a chance at redemption now. It was Buck who came to the plate with a runner at third. That was Bonifacio, and 1 out. And he rolled over on the first pitch and a grounder to short. And Bonifacio is smoking hot since moving to the 7th spot.
10 for 23 since he's moved into the 7th spot. 2 hits tonight. John Carlos saying, yeah, I liked it, Bonnie.
All right, Buck saw 1 pitch from Correa, the one that he swung at. You do have the pitcher on deck, and so Correa going after Buck. The infield up the middle is back. The corners are halfway. The best speed out there is at first base. Stanton walked open the inning. Dobbs lined to single to left. Bonifacio now 2 for 2 with that single to right. The 0-1.
And this is the key at bat. Even with nobody out, you don't want to put it on Josh Johnson, the pitcher. Even though JJ can swing the bat pretty well.
JJ, of course, a prime candidate for a ground ball, which could end the inning if Buck is unable to knock in a run here. Now it's 1-2. 4 grand slams in his career, including one on opening day last year.
And look at that, a 303 average in bases loaded situations.
Correa's out in front of him, 1-2. He really does have a little of everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll try anything. He'll take a little off the fastball. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. The sliders there, changeup's there. always told the story, Rich, about Correa being the guy who taught Clay Hensley to change up.
Yeah, because he learned the grip that Tim Lincecum uses. Correa learning that when he was a San Francisco Giant. Spent 6 years with the Giants. 2-2 come to Buck. Liner, right center, base hit. It'll score. Stanton, here comes Dobbs. He will score. And Buck comes through with a big hit.
Boy, and there's that nice swing. Stay back. Think the other way. Beautifully done by John Buck in a key situation. You can get me once, but you're not going to get me again. That's what John Buck said. That's a pretty good pitch, too. Slider, down, away. If he tries to pull that ball, it might be a double play. But he went the other way, drives in 2 big runs.
Nobody out. JJ's up. Infield in. Pitching coach on his way back out. Please welcome Ray Searage for his second appearance of the night. Here in the bottom of the 4th, 3-1, Miami on top. A lot of things happening in the ball game, but if you'd like to get to us, go to foxsportsflorida.com, go to the Marlins page, click on Game Connect, and then click on Ask the Broadcast. See, I would have no chance, Tommy. That's like 4 things you've got to do just to email us a stinking question. Or you can go to Twitter at FS Marlins. Or if you have TiVo, just rewind to that graphic and you can follow the steps.
Got a tweet from one of the Teletubbies kind of getting all over you for just hating on them.
No, they were thanking me for hating on them. Because that means we put them on television. They like that. They're Teletubbies. JJ drops down a bunt. Correa goes to first with a soft throw that almost skipped by his second baseman Neil Walker.
Nicely done by Josh Johnson in a sacrifice situation. It's one of those opportunities that Bonifacio, it's a little tougher when the pitcher has it. If the third baseman has that ball, he can come down the line. But a job well done by JJ.
Sets up for Reyes now. Second and third, infield in. Reyes takes a peek. Bonifacio at third, Buck at second. 3-1 and a chance to get more. Reyes fouls it back, out of play. Out. Correa's pitch count at 58. Josh Johnson has thrown a lot of pitches as well. He's at 59. We were talking about inside the park home runs. M. Peterson wants to know if someone hits an inside the park home run, will the home run sculpture go on?
That's a good question for David Samson, but I would say yes. A home run's a home run.
That's outside the Reyes, and the count is 3-1. Fonte on deck. And they're just going to walk Reyes to pitch to Infante and play for a double play. So a big moment in this ball game. Bags loaded, 1 out. Infante has a bunt hit, and he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and the Pirates are angling for that ground ball.
Well, it's an opportunity for the Marlins to do something they haven't done a whole lot of. Of course, the Marlins had that big ninth inning, 6 runs, but to have a big inning, and it's an opportunity right here.
Fonte trying to pull that ball. Correa seems to have a real good cut fastball that is tailing away from right-handed hitters. That's the ball that he got Buck to roll over on, and that's a pitch that he gets a strike on there. Breaking ball, base hit, right field. Bonifacio scores. Here comes Buck, and he scores. The Marlins, in search of early runs, have 5 of them tonight.
Well, and they've come up big in key situations. The base hit by Buck, the sacrifice bunt by Josh Johnson, the intentional walk to Jose Reyes. And Omar Infante didn't like that. And he bangs a base hit, drives in 2.
Now you've got Hanley with runners first and second. Two-run single by Buck, 2-run single by Infante.
Correa is the second man up when the Pirates bat in the top half of the 5th. I'm sure Clint Hurdle would love to see him get through this inning.
Pitches outside. We were talking about the Sea Creatures race. Marlins fan would rather see the old Mermaids race, or even better, a Manatee race. Chris Resop, former Fish.
All the struggles, Rich, we've talked about with runners in scoring position. This inning alone, the Marlins are 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Paul dashes. Tommy, does Hanley's swing remind you of Alex Rodriguez's swing?
Somewhat, because it has that full extension. You would love to see Hanley be a little more consistent the way A-Rod has been over his long career. And it kind of goes hand in hand when you see Hanley drive balls to right field. You might think of an Alex Rodriguez driving a lot of balls the other way.
First and second, 1 out, bottom 4, 5-1 Fish. Correa's 1-2. Hanley drives it right field. That's deep. That ball is off the top of the wall. Reyes scores. Infante right behind him. The throw to the plate. He doesn't slide. He's tagged out. He had no place to go.
He had no place to slide.
Joe Espada figured, let's try to get the runs while the getting's good. That was very close to a home run.
Well, and how about this swing? Yeah, that one reminds you of a little A-Rod. A little slider, a little cutter that was up in the zone in Hanley's eyes, just off the top of that right field fence. That's going to be all for Correa. Yeah, I don't blame Joe Espada. Send everybody. Let them make a play. And the throw is there. Yeah, no place to slide because of the way McHenry has the plate blocked. Going out at the plate.
But a 6-1 lead and a pitching change for the Pirates. couldn't get that big inning. And here, the Marlins in the fourth have 5 runs. They have knocked Kevin Correa out. Chris Resop comes into the ballgame.
Saw Jason Grilli down there last night, a former Marlin. Chris Resop spent some time as a fish on the other coast of Florida, over in the Naples area.
Hanley Ramirez back out to second.
Chris Resop, always a live arm. Good athlete. Hard curveball. Fastball, get in the low to mid 90s.
Morrison. A walk and a ground out. Already his 3rd trip to the plate.
Kind of inning the Marlins need. They haven't had for a while. Been good to see the approach on a lot of the hitters tonight.
High pop, and that's going to get out of play, although Presley gave it a jump. Tommy.
Yeah.
If you and Rich fought Glenn Geffner and Dave Van Horn Anchorman style, who would win?
My money's on us.
As long as the public television station didn't show up, we'd be okay.
As long as Cookie and Raul don't show up.
Yeah, see that would change the whole equation, because I wouldn't want anything to do with Cookie. 2-1 coming. Hanley still at second. There they are. Dave Van Horn on the right, Glenn Geffner on the left. Glenn Geffner about to start his own Shake Shack mobile phone app.
Hey, word is Anchorman 2 is coming out.
Two and 2 to Morrison. Resop in for Correa. And Lomo is just missing those fastballs. And that's what Resop is feeding him. Sometimes I get amused by some of these. Rich, does it get aggravating on the road when groupies are banging on your door all night thinking it's Tommy's room? See, now we've hit the bottom of the barrel of tweets and emails, but what the heck? We try to read as many as we can. 2-2 coming. Breaking ball got him. Now Resop kept feeding fastballs, and finally with the hook gets Morrison. Marlins have their big inning. Hanley with an RBI double and a 6-1 lead. A pair of RBI doubles by Hanley Ramirez, a pair of 2-run singles, one by Omar Infante, one by John Buck. The Subway 5th inning, 6-1. Fish on top of the Pirates. Michael McHenry is up. Josh Johnson delivers, and for the first time we welcome in Marlins president David Samson on an email and a Twitter Tuesday. Hi, David.
Welcome to your new home,
This is
gentlemen.
great. The first time you've joined us up here.
It feels good. No rain delays to talk you through.
Not at all. Here's the 0-1. Now, since it's email and Twitter Tuesday, we have been gathering questions, a variety of them from fans. Tommy's been making a list. Tommy, throw out the ceremonial first for David.
Kind of know what the answer is, but I think it would be nice to hear yours. A fan tweeted, and a few people have, so I don't have the particular name. The roof, why is it always closed? We've had a couple games that open. Why is it closed? Go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
Because it's always hot. And it's always raining. Other than that, no reason at all. That's why we needed a roof so badly, exactly to protect people.
Because I know you always say your favorite feature of the whole ballpark is the air conditioning.
And we get to use it. It's funny. We've had people say it's too cold in here. That's quite a change.
Now, we just saw Carlos Stanton go back on the grass in right field. One of the things about having a roof, we talked to the folks in Houston about it. We see it in Arizona. Getting the grass to grow evenly in every spot. Tell us about that process right now.
It's been a struggle, Rich, and the reason is that it's not getting enough sun out there. So during the day when the roof is open, it's been raining a lot, and we've had the roof closed so often at night. And it's just not growing evenly, so we've resodded it a bit. We're going to keep looking. We're definitely staying natural grass. Do we have to change to a different grass? It's possible. Will it take the rest of the season to figure it out? Maybe. We hope not, but we're going to keep trying because it does not look good enough now.
Well, and that's, you talk to the people in Arizona and Houston, and it took them a couple years to find the right mixture of not only grass seed, but fertilization, water. When do you? How long does the roof have to be open for that part of the ballpark to get the exposure you need?
It's a whole big thing, especially with the sun. When the summer comes and the sun is really higher in the sky, that area will get more sun. But in March and April, that area in right field where Giancarlo is, that was in the shade even when the roof was open.
We've had a couple of questions, David, about, I think we had this before, but we didn't get your answer. The World Series flags, 97, 03, fans would like to see them displayed a little bit better, I think.
You mean laying limp there where no one can tell what they are isn't good enough?
Yeah.
So we agree,
Yeah.
and what we have ordered is an unfurled aluminum flag for
nice.
each 97 and for 03.
Very good.
And where will they go? On that flagpole or on a wall?
They'll go exactly where those limp flags are.
Just like up on the moon with the Apollo moon landing. Nicely done. All right, we got more questions for David Samson when we get back. Fish on top in this one, 6-1. Last night hit his 7th home run, 3rd quickest by games and at bats for Hanley in his career. The Marlins can count on Hanley. You can count on Just for Men Auto Stop 4 foolproof results. In Miami tonight, the Marlins have their big inning and a nice lead in the Subway 5th inning, 6-1. David Samson taking our tweets and emails. You've had a variety of tweets and emails thanking you from military members who went to Military Monday last night. Tell us about the idea behind that and how did it go last night?
It went great. The idea of Military Monday is we'll never forget about the troops, and we spend a lot of time going overseas and doing things for the military and just reminding all of our fans everywhere around the world that what they do is quite important. What we do is provide entertainment. They protect us and provide us with all the freedom that we enjoy.
So military ID as young Carlos Stanton is in now against Chris Resop. Broken bat and still strong enough to sneak it through the right side for a base hit. Military ID, active, reserve, veterans. And did I miss anybody?
Well, the easier way to say it is anyone with a military ID.
There you go.
So it's period. Whether you're retired, reserved, active, almost active, used to be active, you can come here and enjoy the game.
I got one, David,
for free. For free.
For free, that's great. From Connor. Connor wants to know why on the home white uniforms does it not say Marlins? It says Miami on the home white uniforms. Why?
Does Connor know? And he probably does. We're the only team to have our home city on the front of our home jersey.
Connor may not have known that.
And Connor,
Tommy didn't know that.
It's a great question, Connor. We are the new Miami Marlins, and we wanted the world to see that we are Miami and proud to be newly named Miami Marlins. And we wanted to come out with the uniform, and Jeffrey Lurie spent a lot of time thinking about these uniforms and looking at the look, and everything he's done has been vindicated for one reason. Everyone's buying everything.
The sales have been tremendous.
It's
I know
through the roof. Everywhere you go, there are people wearing Marlins hats, Marlins uniforms. The red-orange has caught on tremendously. These hats that we're wearing today, you see them all over, not just Miami, but everywhere.
Dobbs with a fly ball to left. Alex Presley is there, and he makes the catch. This is the first time, I believe, the white jerseys, red-orange tops, red-orange socks and sleeves, correct?
I don't know. We're trying to keep track of what our record is with each combination, and so we need a bit of a Rubik's Cube, but we're keeping track of it, and we will get an idea of what works the best and then stick with that.
And we've had this question a few times. Is it a collective group that makes the decision as to what uniforms worn?
The collective we. There's a system we have. It's based on wins, losses. It's based on what we want to make sure the guys are wearing from time to time. Each Friday you're going to see the black jerseys, and so we have a semi-system, always an opportunity to make changes, though.
Bonifacio, it's foul. We've had a variety of folks lobbing suggestions to spice up the Sea Creatures race. A fat sushi chef chasing them was one. I'd like to see, personally, the octopus fall over and black ink spill across the infield. Sorry, I had to drop that one in.
I think that may have not been received as well as you would have liked, because some would say our field looks like there's black ink spilled on it already. But the Sea Creature race is catching on, actually.
Okay.
And the characters were in the West Plaza today, and people were taking pictures all over with the stone crab and the octopus. What I'd like to see in the race is more competition.
Yes.
I'd like to see more elbowing, and I'd like the octopi's tentacles to hit the stone crab.
Yeah. Full contact.
The octopus.
Full contact.
The octopus come out on top of that. It has more elbows, though.
Listen, there's an opportunity. I think the octopus only has 2 arms inside, but 8 arms outside. I'm trying to figure out the math. But I think that's what the race is needing. But it's going to catch on over time, I think.
Bonifacio takes outside. Another triple for Emilio. He's 2 for 2 in this ball game. He tripled in the second, singled and scored in the fourth.
We've actually had requests for Sea Creatures to be on T-shirts and for little figurines. People want to buy these Sea Creatures and maybe race them at home.
We had a tweet earlier that the foam #1 finger should be a Loviste foam.
It's not a bad idea. Would it be sideways, though?
Yeah, it'd have to be sideways.
In the dirt, yeah, I like that idea, too. We've seen a lot of the Loviste shirts.
Would you explain, David, because I try to tell people this, with the sales going crazy with Marlins gear. That is distributed amongst baseball, amongst teams, correct?
Well,
how does that work?
There's national sales, then there's local retail sales.
Okay.
So anything that's bought at the ballpark, that is Marlins.
Okay.
By Marlins fans for Marlins. Anything that is online, that is shared amongst the 30 teams, and then anything internationally, and any.
To second, got one safe because David hadn't finished his sentence. Go ahead.
Thank God Bonnie was hitting.
Yeah.
So internationally it is shared, and also online it's shared. And when you talk about national retailers, when national retailers are selling uniforms or jerseys or hats of all teams, that also gets shared.
Okay. There was I've got like 8 different communication streams here: instant messaging, tweets, emails coming in. I'm trying to find the guy who emailed about the Clevelander, saying, whoever thought of the Clevelander is a genius. I've been out there, and all I can say is, wow. That seems to have been a tremendous hit, that night spot out in left field. Bonifacio's running on the first pitch. McHenry's throw, not even close. And Bonifacio now has his 19th consecutive stolen base to open up this season.
Boy, he is back on track now. Every time he swings the bat, every time tonight, he's hit the ball hard, really comfortable, relaxed in that number 7 spot, and that certainly hasn't hurt his base stealing either.
Nissan leaders of the game, Bonifacio at 19, Starlin, Castro, and D. Gordon a dozen apiece. John Buck at the plate. Reesop delivers. Clevelander has been very popular, hasn't it?
It's been quite a hit. Everywhere you go around the country, people know about the Clevelander right now. There's always action during games, after games. There's dancing, there's singing, there's eating and drinking. It's Miami, and this works in Miami. You don't put the Clevelander anywhere else. You put it right here in Miami. It's a perfect South Beach establishment in a perfect area, and people out there are just having fun. You can see them. They love it. They're watching the game. They love when home runs come in there. And after the game, there's people lined up in the 7th inning to go in and pay a cover charge and enjoy their time as well.
So you can go in after the 7th inning. Say you're at the ballpark and you don't have a ticket in the Clevelander, but you want to get there for the after-game party. You can still get in.
Yes, you do. You wait online and pay a cover charge, and they let in as many people as they can. And so, for example, they may leave right after the game, and others may come and replace them.
Has there been a lot of people in the pool? And can anybody swim? Or do you have to have...
Well, everyone may swim. I'm not sure everyone can swim.
Oh, so anybody that goes in there can jump in the pool?
Yes. And we've had guys doing cannonballs. It's generally later in the game, though.
Well, we are hopeful that for our fantasy auction, Tommy and I will be able to broadcast from, not the pool, that would be an electrical nightmare, but from the Clevelander.
Maybe those seats, Rich, right there in left center.
Breaking ball misses outside. What areas, I know that when the Marlins go on the road, you guys are very, very busy looking for problems, fixing problems. And when you open a building, whether it's a ballpark, a theater, convention center, whatever it is, there's always surprises. What's been the biggest surprise?
The air conditioning. There's areas where it's really too cold, and there's been some areas that aren't being aired properly. So we've heard from fans from every section, and we sit in every section and walk by every section each game. And so we're working on directing vents and figuring out what capacity we need to run the air conditioning at. So that takes a lot of time, but we've got Claude Delorme and all of his facilities engineers working on that constantly. The second thing we work on is the field, and Chad, our groundskeeper, is working on that always, especially when the team is away, trying to get it ready. We have a ton of home games here in the next stretch, having made it through May 9th when we were practically on the road the whole season.
More road games than any Major League team through May 9th, yeah.
So now that just means that we'll, by definition, have more home games than any other team here going forward. So we're focused on that.
That brings me to a tweet that Brian has.
First pitch to JJ.
Brian wants to know, how do you feel so far about the home attendance figures?
You know, we want it to be at least at 30,000, 2.5 million people, and we're there. Obviously, we'd love it to be sold out every single night. I think where you're coming from, where we're coming from in midweek games in April and May, you wouldn't see a crowd like this at Sun Life like we have today.
JJ serves one to left. Presley can run, and he's under there. You got another half inning in you?
Sure.
I mean, for a man that ran 52 miles, another half inning is easy. Now that's where we got to go, Tommy, to the Clevelander. VIP hospitality at Marlins Park from a variety of unique group areas like the Fiesta Suites. The volleyball game is back on. The bullpen zone, the Clevelander, and the Budweiser balcony. Enjoy air-conditioned comfort, great food options, and premium entertainment. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, David Samson with us for the next half inning. The Budweiser balcony and the Budweiser bar out there have been very, very busy since you opened for business.
It certainly is, and it's just a credit to really the design of the ballpark. There's different areas for everyone. The Taste of Miami has been packed with people buying
one of our
interesting
favorites
food.
up here. Yeah.
And so different areas are attracting different people, and they're doing different things, and everyone's having fun. So getting back to attendance, I think as the season continues, you're going to see attendance continue to grow. But compared to where we were, we're a brand new franchise in every single way.
Josh Johnson has 6 runs to work with. And he's got Neil Walker up there to open up the 6th inning.
Got a tweet from Daniel. Daniel wants to know, will the Marlins this year wear throwback uniforms?
I feel like we're not old enough for throwback. Throwback to the 90s, that makes me feel old, I guess, if that's a throwback. I think you'll see us start to celebrate our past as we start seeing anniversaries of World Series championships, etc. But I'm not sure that there's a throwback uniform in the plans this year.
1 ball, 1 strike to Neil Walker. David from Pembroke Pines. I've been to a few Saturday games with the fireworks show afterwards, and if you sit in center field for one of the fireworks shows, there is some debris that comes down on top of you. I was wondering if the Marlins were aware of this and if there's any solution to that.
I had not been told that, so I will make a note to self. Debris center field fireworks. I will find out what kind of debris that is.
Johnson is over. Dobbs flips him the ball.
I apologize. That shouldn't be happening. Assuming it's debris from fireworks and not from an airplane flying above that's dropping like pollution or something, then we'll figure out what it is.
Well done. Here's a question from Don. With all the research that was done by the Marlins about the history of the Orange Bowl, did the Marlins also include the history of Miami Field? Several of the Marlins people who said that they took part in the research of the Orange Bowl said that they had not heard of Miami Field. Miami Field needs to be remembered. I don't remember Miami Field, But
Miami Field was actually, I want to say, in the southwest corner of this site.
Okay.
I think Mayor Manny Diaz discussed it when during the groundbreaking. So if you go down in the Diamond Club, there's tours every non-game day between 10 and 3.
Oh, it's open to the public.
Open to the public, and we take you to the clubhouse, and we take you to the press box and to the Founders level, the Legends level, and the Diamond Club, and you'll get to see a lot of the art that's installed around the ballpark that you may not see otherwise. Some of the framed pieces, some of the framed work, and I think that there is an ode to Miami Field, but I'm also going to check on that, so thank you.
There you go. Hey, the other thing I think fans need to know is Andrew McCutcheon's at the plate is when the team is away, or even during the day, if there's a night game like today, if you were downtown and you wanted to stop by and take a look at all the new Marlins gear in the team store is open, folks. You can come down, and there's places to have lunch. You can grab some frozen yogurt out in front. There is the team store. Ask for Robin. She'll give you the best treatment down there. Our good friend. And all the latest stuff. Next week, the new shipment from Nike is in. So
how do you know that, Rich?
Rich has his order in already. By the way, the other thing you might want to know is JJ's retired 10 in a row. See, I knew.
Can you imagine?
I knew as soon as I said that. Here's one, David, for you, and it is not sent with malice. It's sent to help you. Andres, letting you know that we're in Section 10, Row 17, seats 8 through 12. It's too cold. Just helping you, Mr. Samson.
So, Section 10, Row 17, there's a vent there, and it's pointed as much toward the field as we can, because I know about Section 10. But we're going to go down there right now. I'm going to send someone down to take a look. This is not our way of having people buy sweatshirts at all. We are still working on trying to get the air conditioning properly sort of spread throughout the ballpark. So what was that seat again? Section 10, Row 17?
Section 10, Row 17, seats 8 through 12.
I'm on my way.
By the way, you saw the shots of the Marlins team store. And I know, David, because I was in to purchase a Mother's Day gift, an Antigua zip jacket for running, outdoor stuff. Very nice. Speaking of running, have you recovered from hurting 50? Last time we saw you, we were concerned. I mean, when you, I don't want to say staggered, but came in through the gate in center field, you looked like a man that had just run for 52 miles. That was something.
Thank you. It was a great day in hindsight. And that man just caught the ball in his hat. I don't know if you got that on tape, but that man has a memory right there in the new red-orange cap. He literally caught it right in the cap with a baby right next to him.
That hat, by the way, is the one we see the most on the road.
It's a good team effort. Mom protected the baby. Dad got the ball.
I hope you have it, because that's a play of the day if you do. But I assume there would have been a replay if you'd had it.
That's all right. Our crack staff is efforting, but we've always learned never to assume. Ball down low. McCutcheon steals the bag.
The run was great. We raised over $600,000 and were able to, for 10 great charities. It was a tough day, but again, for me, you met my best friend Brett Parker.
Yes.
You know, he woke up the next day with Parkinson's.
Right.
I woke up the next day sore, but it went away in 2 days. So, you know, you put everything in perspective, and I ran with Daryl Eisenberg, who has multiple sclerosis, and she woke up with that. So the point was raising awareness and raising money, and sometimes to do it, you have to do crazy things. And running for 12 hours, 2 marathons back-to-back is crazy, but, you know, you realize that it's for something greater good. And so the question is, what's next?
That's right. You woke up the next day and went to a Heat game, too.
I did, and I could barely walk. But listen, I am healthy and happy, and I'm blessed beyond belief.
Great cause. Cause is.
I didn't feel great at the end. I barely remember. I did an interview with Minervini pregame. I do not remember one thing about it.
And Conine had to try to help you through that interview.
Do not remember it at all.
2-2 pitch. He's down low. David, on email nights, we get emails from all over the place. And this is from Rory in Violet Town, Victoria in Australia. Currently watching from a small town in Australia. Wanted to tell David that the Docklands Stadium in Melbourne has the exact same problem with the grass and started using solar lamps, and it completely fixed the problem.
We are on that. We are looking at solar lamps and when they can be used, whether or not we can use them during the season or if it's just an off-season issue, where we store them because they're big, and figuring out what to do. But that's great. We have not looked at that stadium in Australia, but we do know that in Houston and Arizona they use solar lamps as well. So it helps. Sun really helps grass.
All right, David, the crack staff has done the best they can to see if they can find a shot with this guy catching. And this is the best they've got.
That's pretty good.
There it is.
Look what he saved the baby. He saved the baby.
He did.
It was right over his baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's the play of the day.
Bonifacio Morrison. Yikes.
Almost learning.
Yes. The cloaking device that Bonnie used to have no longer is shielding him, and Morrison peeled away just at the last minute.
Do you think, here's one from Rick M., and I've talked to Lomo about this. Do you think that the noise from the Clevelander, the music, can be distracting to left fielders?
I think left fielders are used to everything. They're used to cheers, boos, noise. I think Logan loves it, and he's focused in. And it's funny, if you talk to a player during a game, they're in the zone. They're focused very much on the play. They're focused on doing their job, and all the noise sort of in the background becomes just sort of this din, this constant buzz. But no, I think the players, even in our bullpen, are focused and getting the job done, and it's just a part of the experience of the ballpark.
I guess if you can handle playing left field in Philadelphia, you can handle the noise from Cleveland.
Caesar from West Palm Beach. Where are the World Series trophies at the new ballpark?
The World Series trophies are in the administrative office reception area. Only 2 of them. The question is, where will the 3rd one go if we're ever lucky enough and good enough to get a 3rd one? And we don't have a place yet. It's bad karma to find a place for something in advance.
Garrett Jones, 0-1 pitch. JJ bounces it up there. So the Marlins got their big inning in this one. They got 5 runs in the 4th. And Josh Johnson, who pitched very well in Houston, only to get a no decision in a Marlins 5-3 win. That was the ballgame the Marlins had to work overtime to get. He went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs in that one. Trying to get through the 6th here. In the new ballpark, Julio wants to know, is it hotter on the field than it is in the stands?
I think hot air rises, so I'm going to say no. We have the turkey thermometer that we do in different sections. We don't really do it on the field. It's not like the old days with the, like in Cincinnati with the AstroTurf where it's 120 on the field. It's not like that.
You're right. All right, David, this was informative. I think we had a ton of questions, good answers, and you're headed down to check on the AC in section, what was it?
Section 10.
There you
on
go.
my way.
Here's the catch for you again. A baby-saving catch.
Thank you.
The shark is in much better shape than the crab.
You know what I've found out in just scouting this race night after night? The octopus generally finishes last or second to last, and I think it's because he spends most of his time giving high fives.
The octopus does it. When he runs near the rail, fans are high-fiving. Reyes, Infante, Ramirez for the Fish in the 6th. We've heard from Allison Williams, Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, now Frank Fort. Frank?
All right, thanks, Rich. We're here with Leroy Glover, who's 87 years young, big Marlin fan, watches every game at home, but this is the first time he's come out to a Marlin game in person. How are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, I'm enjoying it good. Really enjoying it.
You're wearing your brand new Jose Reyes shirt. Is he your favorite Marlin?
Yeah.
What do you think of the new ballpark?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Now, I understand you watch pretty much every game with Rich and Tommy and all of us. What does your family have to do, and there's about 20 of them here, what do they have to do to pull you away from the television tonight and get you down here?
Well, I joined the crowd.
His daughter Audrey's here as well. Audrey, a little bit awkward through the rail here, but your brother told me that if dinner's being served and the Marlins are on, your father will not get up from in front of the TV. You have to bring it down.
He will not. We were sitting one dinner waiting for him. And we're just sitting there waiting to have prayer and everything before we eat. And I called, I said, Daddy, are you coming? Well, right after this inning, I'll make it. But he will not leave. We have to bring the dinner over to him.
How big a Marlins fan is he?
Oh, my God. When I say he will not leave the television set, we had to tell him that the family came all the way from Kentucky to be with him at the Marlin game. That was the only reason why we're here live today.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the experience, Leroy. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Rich and Tommy, now that, I'm sorry?
He's a very talkative man.
He's a very talkative man, his daughter said. But he loves the Marlins. He loves watching us, guys.
It's great to see him out at the ballpark.
That's great. He didn't want to talk a lot. He wanted to watch the game.
Yeah, and his favorite player was Reyes.
Yeah, Reyes was up.
Here's Omar Infante. Hanley Ramirez to follow. The big hits in this one. Infante's 2-run single in the 4th. That followed a 2-run single by John Buck. Hanley's got a couple of RBI doubles. Chris Resop into his 3rd inning of relief. This is the night where Josh Johnson has gone 6 innings, a run, a walk, 5 strikeouts on 5 hits.
This last inning, Clint Hurdle allowed Resop to go ahead and hit because he's just trying to get as much out of Chris Resop and not burn his bullpen, not have to go through 2 or 3 guys.
Because there aren't many days off at all in baseball. Nice stop by Barmas, but Infante's got himself an infield hit. But there are no off days this week for anybody because you've got back-to-back and then back-to-back, a pair of 2-game series as everybody ramps up for interleague play, which starts Friday for the Marlins in Cleveland.
How about a 3-hit night for Omar Infante? Yeah, for the Pirates, they go up to Washington for a couple of games, and then they venture into Detroit to begin their interleague.
Hanley takes the ball. Our Toyota trend tonight. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series, which is close. Marlins 44-30 in South Florida. 0-1 in Marlins Park. That may roll fair. Hanley has to run it out. He's going to get a hit out of it. How about that?
Great hustle by Hanley, too. That was outstanding. He knew that he hit that ball off the end of the bat, and it had terrific spin.
Because the last thing you want to be is the hitter that stands in the box when it comes fair.
Right there, he's on the move. That ball's about 6 inches foul, trickles back into fair territory, and with the hustle of Hanley Ramirez. Look at that. Look at that. That is tremendous. And great hustle and a base hit for Hanley.
And obviously, Chris Rhysop, if he had it to do over again, would have picked it up before it came back in.
Hanley with a 3-hit night.
Here's a concerned email from Aaron in West Palm Beach. What's the percentage of tweets versus emails that you read on the air? It seems that you read many more tweets than emails now. Don't you think you're cutting off a huge portion of the viewing audience that is over 30 that maybe doesn't have a Twitter account? Well, I think we're pretty good about splitting it between emails and tweets. In fact, I believe yours is an email. Aaron in West Palm Beach. So obviously we've embraced Twitter, but we still pick up the emails.
But a point well taken.
Ball and a strike. One and two to Morrison. Almost 0 for 2. Jose Reyes and Logan Morrison, the only two regulars who do not have a hit. Rhysop struggling with some control. It's 2-2. A couple of infield hits, Infante and Hanley Ramirez. And a 6-1 Marlins lead. Lomo strikes out. Poll question tonight. Favorite part of Marlins Park? The roof. 56%. Agreeing with Tommy Hutton. You can still vote 789-789. Standard text and data rates apply. Now, I'm with our producer, John Sulser, in that the roof is a runaway winner. What's next? What's the outside of the roof? What's the favorite feature? Carlos Stanton out to left. Presley is over there and makes the catch. Marlins leave those two runners to the 7, 6-1. 6-1. Marlins on top of the Pirates. Hanley's had a big night. He had a big night last night. Josh Johnson has been terrific. Now, we called her the social media queen. We changed that to princess. And one of our tweeters, emailers says Contessa would be a good nickname for
I
her.
like that one.
There you go.
We're making improvement here. Guys, we've got a lot of fans that also tweet as well. A lot of big Marlins fans who blog and have their different Twitter accounts, which are often entertaining, sometimes informative. So we wanted to give you guys a bit of a tip of the hat and say, first of all, thanks for promoting the Marlins and all you do, and give you guys a little plug here. So here's a list at some Marlins fans we think you should follow. There's Fish at Bat, Fish Fan Official, Marlins_Nation, Long Ball Lagoon, which is an ode to the home run sculpture out in center field. There's also a new one, Low Vista Fish, which has a lot of the pictures of people doing the Low Vista. There's, of course, also the Low Vista Official, which is a good one. And Fight and Fish, we have to give a shout out to as well. They're all different fans and bloggers that have their Twitter accounts, and they all are probably interested in this that the Marlins have coming up next Tuesday. They're going to host a social media lounge night. All of you guys can apply. Submit your info to marlins.com/social lounge. You have to apply, though, by tomorrow. That is the deadline. But you can come out to the game. They will host you all in a suite. It's a chance for everybody to kind of connect in this social media world, and I'm sure I will be making an appearance there at some point to chat with all of you guys in person. But apply tonight because the deadline is tomorrow, and it will be for next Tuesday's game against the Rockies. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you guys out there. Rich?
Of course you will. You're the social media Contessa. Clint Barmas is at the plate. Josh Johnson is on the mound. His 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball that swung on and missed. Brian Peterson in the ball game. Petey's out in left field.
Well, and I think one of the big stories tonight is Josh Johnson. Tony Watson getting ready. The JJ working here in the 7th inning. He's been in control. He's gotten some support. I love the way it came back. Had a stretch where he retired 10 in a row.
Little tapper. And JJ fires to first in time.
Good hard sinker to first base as well. So coming off his 7 innings against Houston, if you kind of look at that start and this start, I think this start is even a little notch better than the one in Houston. So it's a great news to see JJ throw the ball the way he has tonight.
Today, Major League, I don't know if they've announced it, but word is out that the New York Mets in Citi Field will host the 2013 All-Star Game. The Marlins are certainly hopeful that the All-Star Game is coming in their direction.
Well, it seems like they alternate National League, American League, so maybe 2015 would be the year. Let's hope. It's a pretty busy night in Miami right now anyway. It'd be busy during an All-Star game, but you got the game going on here.
You can hear fans reacting, some that are watching or listening to the Heat game. That ball's hit pretty well off the bat of McHenry, and it's gone. Michael McHenry, who has won for his last 19, has homered to left. His second of the season.
He homered earlier this year off lefty Chris Capuano.
A guy who I'm sure knows Brett Carroll. He's raised in Knoxville and played at Middle Tennessee State.
Slider, not one of the better ones that JJ has thrown, and McHenry with a solid swing was able to get some nice extension and just dropped it into the bullpen.
It's only the second homer that Josh Johnson's allowed. Here's the first pitch to Nate McLeod. There's been a Nate McLeod sighting, and it was a very short at bat for McLeod as he bounces out to second. JJ Dunn, he's through 7 with the Marlins on top. Miami at home and up 6-2.
por Toyota. Bueno, ventaja de 4 carreras ahora para los Marlins de Miami, Cookie, aquí en la parte baja del 7º inning.
See, I like just listening
That
to
sounds
Raul.
great.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Good to talk to you guys. Hey, this is the way the blueprint was, right, Cookie? To have great pitching, get some key hitting.
Well, absolutely. I think it's great to see JJ, finally with a great advantage of 4 or 5 runs, that the ball club had given him tonight, and win his first game. I think it's something that might be the start of something good.
Especially, guys, considering the way this ballpark is playing out, when you have that advantage, just use your defense and all the space that they have here to keep the ball in the park and hopefully get some outs.
New pitcher Tony Watson is out there.
Greg Dobbs is up to bat. You guys know he speaks Spanish, right?
Raised in Southern California.
Yes, I did know that. So you can carry on a nice conversation with him.
Absolutely. We need to invite him over to Don Camarón and have some ceviche, one of his favorite dishes.
He can speak Spanish and he can hit.
Yes, he can. No question about it.
It's interesting, actually, what Ozzie was talking about before the game yesterday about him, that he's such a powerful tool coming off the bench as a pinch hitter that he almost gets himself out of the lineup, and he doesn't get the opportunity to become a starter day in, day out because he's so valuable coming off the bench.
And with Gabby Sanchez struggling at first base right now, Dobbs getting some spot starts against righties.
Talking about Andre Dawson and Eduardo Perez in batting practice today, he treats batting practice like he's in the game. He works, the counts himself in batting practice and hits the ball all over. And that's the kind of example that you want to be looking up to. If you're struggling hitting, it's him and Infante, those type of hitters that maybe can help yourself in your own ways.
Dobbs a 1 for 3 night. A single and a run scored in the 4th. How have you found your spacious booth over there at Marlins Park? A nice upgrade for you guys as well, right?
Well, I believe it's a beautiful ballpark. It's great booth here with all the facilities, and we're very happy to be here and able to take the broadcast to all the Spanish-speaking people here in Miami. It's great. It's a great ballpark. To me, the #1 ballpark in the country, honestly and sincerely.
0-2 pitch. Dobbs couldn't hold up. He goes around and he strikes out. All right, guys.
Have a good show, guys. And have a safe trip out there.
Good trip.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Tony Watson with a fastball that gets by Greg Dobbs. And now Bonifacio will flip over to the right side. 6-2, Marlins on top.
Another Marlin with a chance to have a 3-hit game. Hanley with 3 hits. Infante with 3 hits.
Again, we apologize for the lack of pitch speed and Fox Tracks. The electronic system that runs both is down in the ballpark, and that's a Major League Baseball issue, not a Fox Sports Florida issue or a Marlins issue. It's the same technology that. Now, Tommy, have you noticed in your MLB at bat app, are you getting pitch speeds and location and all that?
Right now, I'm not following pitch by pitch, but let me check.
All right. A lot of tweets about that guy at the weird fish hat in the background where the Teletubbies were sitting last night. Longtime Marlin fan. Looks like he's got some signatures on the hat. Logan Morrison's signature. Two and 1 to Bonifacio.
I think my system's down, Rich. I'm having trouble.
Oh my goodness, what are you going to do? Watson's out of the University of Nebraska. And Bonifacio walks.
That's a great example of a couple of weeks ago, especially batting from that side against a lefty. Bonifacio may have chased that pitch, but he's just making himself become more patient and took it for ball 4.
John Buck now, and it's a 4-run game, and it feels like the Marlins haven't had 6 runs on the board in a while. It feels like a bigger lead than it really is. But with just a 4-run lead, the Marlins would be smart to get themselves a couple extras headed towards the 8th and the 9th.
And with a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle, it appears that that's going to be it for Josh Johnson. Donnie Murphy on the on-deck circle, and the bullpen's busy.
Bonifacio, a stolen base in the 5th. He has 19 consecutive stolen bases. Buck looks at another strike. It's 0-2. Buck takes up.
I find myself, like a lot of fans, checking this and just took a peek at the Angels. Box score 3 for 4 for Albert Pujols. You wonder if this is the night that sets him off. Also checking to see that the Braves continue to play good ball. 6-2 lead over the Reds, 8th inning.
Swing and a miss by Buck. McHale is the emailer that wanted to know if the Marlins were going to get an all-star game, and Tommy, you touched upon it. There's also one from, I can't even make out this name, but anyways, wants to know if the World Baseball Classic has a shot at being played at Marlins Park. It has a very good shot.
Very good shot, yeah.
Which will be next spring, whether it's a first or a second round or even the finals could be played here.
Great location. You know you're going to have perfect weather.
Especially if you get teams from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. Murphy takes outside with 2 outs. See if Bonifacio is on the move. Murphy fouls it back. Josh Johnson, 7 innings in the books, a 6-2 lead.
Looking to get his first win since last April 19th. He's gone 0-4 over his last 12 starts.
He was in line to get a win in his last start on Wednesday. The Houston Astros got a run in the bottom of the 9th. Marlins won that game 5-3, but of course JJ had no decision. Count now 3-1. Reyes on deck. Outside, Murphy walks. So it's either a strikeout or a walk for Tony Watson. Here is Reyes. Strikeout of Dobbs, walk to Bonifacio, strikeout of Buck, and a walk to Murphy.
And we mentioned the Marlins headed up to Atlanta. Mark Burley tomorrow night against lefty Mike Minor. Last time Burley pitched, it was against the lefty Johan Santana.
Now Reyes. Terrific speed at second. And a strike. Now we don't have the speed gun available. Your bearings have been knocked off on the MLB app. Watson looks like he's throwing 95, 96.
That's what is deceptive sometimes, and that's why years ago when you didn't have the radar gun, you know, a guy maybe because of his delivery appeared to throw harder than he really did.
And it's become so commonplace, not only for broadcasters, but for fans to just not only see it on the screen, but see it in the ballpark. Even players, pitchers will look up. Hitters, when they swing and miss at a pitch, will look up to see what the speed was. Scouting reports are built around fastball speeds.
Driving home last night, I even heard Hall of Famer Vince Scully referencing pitch speed. Scouts, they keep track. There have been a few pitchers who managers didn't want the speed to be shown when they were on the mound. They didn't want them looking back.
Now, A.J. Burnett is in the house. You saw him early in his career. Was he a guy that looked in the center? McCutcheon is there, and he makes the catch. We'll discuss when we return in the 8th. Ball game. We were talking about pitchers looking up at the pitch speed. A.J. Burnett, you saw him as a youngster. Was he a guy, and he threw...
Oh, he threw upper 90s. He 97, 98. Yeah, A.J. would take a glance, but I think Brad Penny looked more. He liked to see what he was throwing. I think Matt Lindstrom used to check it out once in a while. Lindy would get upper 90s, maybe 100.
Yes, he would. So, Josh Johnson for 7. Mujica now for the 8th. And this is, despite a 4-run lead, the Marlins have had some back-end bullpen issues. Mujica's ERA at 4.5, and he's not used to having it there.
I think he'd like to get himself a little more consistent right now, too.
Jose Tabata. And it's 0-1. Stanton over and makes the catch, and we check in with Craig Minervini.
Rich, thank you very much. The Pittsburgh Pirates were #1 in the National League last year. In attendance increase from the 2010 season. They were over 20%. Cleveland was over 30%, #1 in baseball. The Marlins will see the Indians in Cleveland on Friday. But this year, take a guess. Yes, the Marlins are #1 in attendance increases. You might expect, averaging over 30,000 a game. The increase is over 60%. Look at Texas and St. Louis, despite being good baseball markets coming up their big seasons. And the world champs are even up almost 10%. And the Tampa Bay Rays are up almost 9%, over 20,000 per game. But the Marlins with the new ballpark, it's been a hit, up to over 30,000 per game, as David Samson was talking about. We've got a few tweets as well about the attendance and the increase earlier tonight.
Yeah, I think too, Craig and Rich, when you look at the early part of the season, April and May, the Marlins don't have a lot of, because they play so many road games, a lot of home weekend series. As school gets out, as the season unfolds, June, July, you're going to see a few more series on the weekend. Kids are out of school, they'll be able to come out. And I think things will just get better.
Neil Walker.
Yep. The other thing too, guys, is that they haven't had their big draws really. If you look at they have their West teams come in. The Red Sox will be coming in here, but a lot of the teams we've seen are not their natural rivals. We haven't seen the Phillies yet, or Atlanta. So I think it's so far so good. And we've noticed one thing: the noise here has been terrific. The atmosphere, the environment, everybody's feeding off.
Yeah, the energy. You know, fans have traditionally been doing the wave here.
Yeah, when the Marlins get a rally going.
You know, I'm interested to see too if the Washington Nationals become more of a road draw. As Peterson made that catch. You've got Bryce Harper, who homered again today. Obviously, Steven Strasburg is someone people like to come out and see.
Always a lot of Philly fans, Braves fans.
What's the Burger 305 offering for the Pirates? Is there a pierogi sandwich down there?
Might be a pierogi sandwich, might be a Primani Brothers type sandwich with the coleslaw and fries. I'm not sure though. A 2-game series would have made it a little tough.
Quick turnaround, you're right.
Yeah.
You got to think for Philadelphia, it will be a cheesesteak. Jared Hughes in the Pittsburgh pen. McCutcheon got tied up. Infante wanders to center and makes the play. A very nice inning from Edward Mujica to the bottom of the 8th. And a 6-2 Miami lead. Chevron. Mark Burley, Mike Minor. Marlins and Braves. That's a 2-game series in Atlanta, which starts tomorrow night, 6:30 for Marlins Live.
You got a pair of right-handers the next night. Ricky Nolasco and Brandon Beachy.
Be interesting to see how Ricky responds after his first rough outing of the season.
Yeah, it's a good place for him to pitch. He's had some success in Atlanta.
That's where he had his 16 strikeout game. Jared Hughes, who has been a real nice piece in Pittsburgh's bullpen.
Saw Hughes the other night. Came in to pitch the 7th inning. Had a uneventful inning. Gave up a base hit to John Buck.
Hughes, a 7-inning scoreless streak. And he leads all Major League rookies with a slender 1.45 ERA.
Tough loss for the Heat, losing tonight, 78-75. So they'll go back to Indiana, all even up, 1-1.
For those of you that are just joining us, Miami has a 6-2 lead here over Pittsburgh. A chance not only to split this little 2-game set, but also go 3-2 on the homestand.
And go 11-3 in the month of May.
Let's have the best record in May. 1-2. Foul back. And who, you ask, are the hitting heroes? Well, this guy's got 3 hits, a 2-run single. 3 hits total. Hanley Ramirez has 3 hits, including a pair of RBI doubles and one of the wackiest base hits you'll see. And we'll show it to you when Hanley comes up.
I think the big hit of the night, too, the base hit by John Buck, bases loaded.
I would agree. I think that was
that set the tone.
The big hit, a big hit for Buck himself and for the ball club. Emilio Bonifacio has another triple. He has 2 hits. Three and 2. Nice sweet stroke. And Infante, a 4-hit night. All right, sometimes it's a line drive in the books. This one wasn't even straight. The Hanley Ramirez hit. This was Hanley back in the 6th inning. Watch the spin on this. Hanley knew it was coming back, and give him credit. He hustled all the way.
About a 45-footer with a lot of spin. That looks like a top. And he also smoked one off the right field fence, and he drilled a double down the left field line. So 3 hits, 2 solid, the 1 spinner.
Hanley has his average up to 236. He was right around 200 a few days ago. Chopper speared there by Alvarez. The turn out at first. Hanley is out. 2 down here at the bottom of the 8th. The next Marlins watch party is coming up on Thursday. That would be game 2 in Atlanta at Duffy Sports Grill at the Intercoastal Mall in North Miami Beach. Marlins and Braves at 7:10. You can win prizes. You can meet Billy and the Energy Team and wear your Marlins gear. You'll get your first drink free. How about that at Duffy Sports Grill? Marlins watch party on Thursday night. Brian Peterson gets an at-bat. Came in for Logan Morrison in the 7th. He takes down low. As we showed you, Peterson had success in his 10-day stay in AAA.
Yeah, it's a couple of things good about that. He went down, didn't hang his head, went down to work on some things offensively. It helped. He got to play every day. Kevin Madison we'll see him someday. He's got some talent. He's got some tremendous speed. It'll be his first full year in AAA.
Peterson goes after that low fastball. Randy Choate, Marlins pen. We got Pedro Alvarez, Garrett Jones set to lead off the Pirate half of the ninth. Out there is Presley. In comes Randy Choate. Fish try to finish the Pirates. The road, actually we are headed to Atlanta. You can take the Marlins with you. Just subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Marlins out of market game live on your favorite device in HD quality. Visit Marlins.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. 24,242.
Not bad considering a few miles away they had a packed house at American Airlines Arena. Yeah, with lefties due up, Randy Choate comes in to work this ninth inning.
Marlins, for the second time in 5 days, are trying to save, well, actually not a save situation, but close a Josh Johnson start that would result in a win. They couldn't protect a 1-run lead in Houston. Now they'll try to protect a 4-run lead in Miami. So Choate and Pedro Alvarez. We appreciate all the emails and the tweets tonight. If we didn't get to yours, or if we were unable to read your name, sometimes we just group all the tweets of the same subject into one question.
I like the tweet here from Alicia, watching FS Marlins from Boston tonight. Really enjoying the broadcast. Think I'll plan a trip to Miami so I can catch a game at that beautiful park.
Lee wants to know, speaking of A.J. Burnett, did you guys get a chance to ask him about the pickup
clip
on the 10-run reel? Someone did.
I'm sorry I didn't, because I did talk to him and I did not ask him about it.
And someone did ask him, and I read the quote. A.J. said ball slipped. Next question.
He's sticking to his story.
I think he had a twinkle in his eye when he said it. Infante to first, and Choate gets lefty number 1. Alvarez goes down. Here comes Garrett Jones. Rick wanted to know, will Heath Bell be closing for the Pacers tonight? The Pacers have closed out game 2, so that goes back to Indiana at a game apiece.
Game apiece. I think a couple of games there, and it's 1-1-1.
So Bell is up. I think what you do now in this situation, if you're Ozzie Guillen and you have pitchers that you were holding on to, sometimes you'll see a guy get up, and Chad Godin may be one of those guys, just to get up and throw. And maybe with Bell as well.
I would say, without question, in this day and age of baseball, the hardest thing for a manager to manage is his bullpen.
High chopper. Reyes, quick hands. Nice play. Really nice play.
Yeah, quick hands, quick release, and strong throw. He's made some nice plays tonight.
There's the release. Wally Bell in your picture. And so certainly Bell is up, and so is Godin. If anything went wrong here, say Barmes were to reach, Presley were to reach, you probably see Heath Bell. But just in case, Ozzie has him up, heated, and if he doesn't come in, at the very least he gets some work in and sharpens up for the Atlanta series. And the same with Godin. He's a guy that you hold back as a long reliever. And they're both chucking right now in the bullpen. Barmes pulls it foul. Marlins Live right after the game. Brought to you by Checkers.
They're warming up right now, too. Craig, Niner, Allison.
Preview of the Braves series. Look at the big 5-run fourth for the Marlins, which seemed like a 10-run fourth. The way the Marlins have been scoring runs, and Choate strikes out Barmes. The Marlins win this ball game. They split the 2-game set. They win the homestand. The Fish taking 3 of 5 on this brief homestand. Randy Choate finishing things. And Josh Johnson has a win for the first time since last April. How about that?